All right. So, listen, I want to educate ourselves a little bit here. This is something that does interest me. I'll tell you, it's wise just to see what's going on. So, I do like to watch our humor and stuff. But let's see what this guy says here. I haven't watched a lot of his stuff, but again, I've said but pretty loud and proud a few times, but ClearValue tax. Name of the channel. He seems to be coming in very fair. Let's see what he says with the $5,000 DOGE stimulus check predictions.
The $5,000 DOGE stimulus check, because this is making quite the stir on media. So look at this from Forbes. Will you get Musk's DOGE dividend via a $5,000 stimulus check? So look at this from Axios. DOGE stimulus checks.
Now, um, who thinks that could happen? I mean, let me know in the chat. I'm not trying to go either way, but a Doge dividend check of $5,000, like what would qualify? I'm sure it's not just going to be given to everybody. There's going to be some kind of stipulation, is my prediction. Let's find out.
Fox Business says Musk weighs a Doge dividend to send Americans checks using saved funds. Now, let me tell you what's going on, and then I'll give you my prediction. Okay, so this is how it all started. James Fishback, a CEO of an investment firm, posted this on his X account, and it says, President Trump and Elon Musk should announce a Doge dividend, a tax refund check sent to every taxpayer, funded exclusively with a portion of the total savings delivered by Doge. Okay, so you see this, what I outlined in red. This is his work that goes more in depth on this topic, which is this 4-page report. Okay, so here's how Fishback got to a $5,000 check.
Doge is targeting $2 trillion in total savings. Take 20% of Doge's total savings, $400 billion, and return it to the give or take 79 million households that will be net payers of federal income tax. Now, hear me out. It says U.S. households. There's verbiage here that, I mean, what does that entail? 400 billion in Doge-driven savings dividend by 79 million tax-paying households. Divided by 400 billion in savings divided by 79 million equals $5,000. And they're saying there's 79 million households. Now, isn't there like 300 million Americans? 300 and some odd number.
Doge is hoping to save $2 trillion by cutting expenses, right? Take 20% of those savings, which is $400 billion, and return it to 79 million U.S. households. And that would mean a $5,000 check per tax-paying household, which is $400 billion divided by 79 million households. Now, I want to point this out to you. So Fishback wants 79 million households to receive this check, right? But there are about 130 million households in the USA. So who would be left out? It would be low-income Americans. They would not receive a check. Why?
They don't own property.
It's because it says that only people that pay federal income tax in 2025 would receive the money. And many lower-income Americans don't make enough money to pay federal income taxes. So about 1/3 of households would not receive this money. And it also says that this would incentivize people to work and boost labor force participation.
What's interesting is I know a lot of Americans who pay into their taxes and get refunds. So I wonder how that comes into play because you're paying taxes throughout the year, but come when you file, you're getting money back. Would it just be included in your refund? I mean, I'm trying to think as the normal, taxpayer in America. I'm a household. I own the house. This affects me.
Now, Fishback says that $5,000 DOGE stimulus checks would not be inflationary. So Fishback explains that the DOGE dividend is different from past stimulus checks because tax-paying households are more likely to save, not spend, the DOGE dividend. I mean, if you ask me, I would be skeptical of that. That's my opinion, and
Yeah, hold on. That depends on the person. But let's read this really quick. The DOGE dividend is different from past stimulus checks. So they're trying to say this cash payout, this isn't like our other cash payouts because only tax-paying households will receive it. So they're saying you have to qualify for it. You have to have been paying into the tax. Tax-paying households are more likely to save, not spend, a transfer payment like the DOGE dividend, as consumption is a lower share of their income. That I feel like there's a lot of assumption there. Assumption of that consumption of the lower share of their income. I mean, I know a lot of people who make money, pay their taxes, pay a lot of bills, and they still find a way to buy a lot of things that they probably shouldn't be buying. Um, Unfortunately, impulsive spending habits come from people of all backgrounds. It's a dopamine thing. I mean, it's like addiction, right? Swiping that card, handing over that money, getting everything over the counter. Gratitude, yeah, that's definitely an American culture.
this is, you just saw Fishback's opinion. Anyways, Elon Musk responded to James Fishback, saying that he will check with President Trump. And then Musk told President Trump about it. And then now, I want you to take a look at this.
There's even under consideration a new concept where we give 20% of the DOGE savings to American citizens and 20% goes to paying down debt because the numbers are incredible, Elon. So many billions of dollars, billions, hundreds of billions, and we're thinking about giving 20% back to the American citizens and 20% down to pay back debt and pay down debt.
Okay, and he may say this too, but I'm going to call it out because you have to listen to both sides very fairly and also see what's going on. Because Trump is saying American citizens, and a lot of people out there who are renters, a lot of people out there who are living at home with mom and dad, who, I mean, yeah, they may be paying taxes. It depends. Everyone's situation is different, but it's a very general speak, and this looks like it's going to affect, a very, thin portion of everybody. It's not going in everyone's wallet here. So, if that's the case, how can you find out how to get it in your wallet is the question.
Okay, so something I want to point out is that all of this, it revolves around Doge saving about $2 trillion, right? So how are they doing? So if you go to the government's website, it says that Doge has saved an estimated $55 billion. So this is a combination of fraud, contract cancellations, contract renegotiations, asset sales, grant cancellations, workforce reductions, programmatic changes, and regulatory savings.
I don't know.
So that $55 billion in savings,
They seem to be finding fraud awfully fast. It was obviously very prevalent and easy to find, or what are we putting on the chopping block here? I question it, but I've heard stories. I've definitely heard stories of people in federal offices and how they work, and people who work with federal agents and how they don't work. So
that's the official number on the official government websites. But I want you to know that that figure, 55 billion in savings, that is being disputed. Other sources are saying that the real figure is closer to a total of 8.6 billion in savings.
yeah,
And one thing I want to point out, so this is an example. DOGE incorrectly reported an $8 billion savings when the contract clearly said $8 million. So DOGE then later fixed that error on their website. So you can see the contracts that they list. And when they fixed the $8 billion mistake, they did not decrease their $55 billion estimated savings amounts. And they also triple counted a contract for $654 million, amounting to a total of about $2 billion in savings.
Look, if we're going to do something, let's do it efficiently, but let's not fudge the numbers here. And look, I don't want to ruffle feathers here, but I'm going to use example of past evidence and say Path of Exile.
And
Let's
when
not
asked
fudge the
about this, the
numbers.
White House, Elon Musk, and DOGE declined to comment, but they did fix those errors. But to be fair, before this happened, Elon Musk said, and I quote, "DOGE is not perfect. Some of the things I will say will be incorrect and should be corrected."
Your engineer.
Hmm. There's some humbleness you don't see very often. Those may not be perfect. And I think that's very fair to say about anything. Nothing is perfect. Nothing at all. All right, hold on. Okay. So, yeah, nothing is perfect.
I want to be very clear about this. Do I believe that a lot of government spending is wasteful or corrupt? And my answer, my opinion is yes, of course.
Unfortunately, yes, it's true.
I mean, I would find it surprising if you can find someone that doesn't believe that, or at least to some extent.
Yeah.
Now, I want to show you the video clip of President Trump pointing out specific examples of wastefulness or corruption or whatever you want to call it. And then after that, I'll give you my prediction about these $5,000 DOGE stimulus checks.
$10 million for Mozambique voluntary medical male circumcisions. $10 million for circumcisions in another country. $9.7 million for UC Berkeley to develop a cohort of Cambodian youth with enterprise-driven skills. In other words, let's teach them something about enterprise. What about our people? Can't we teach them about enterprise? $2.3 million for strengthening independent voices in Cambodia.
You know, what's interesting is I wonder how these things happen. The only thing I can think is we've been doing these omnibus bills for so long, and there's pages and pages and pages and pages, and maybe I'm ignorant. Maybe it's not in those bills, but like this has been going on for before I was even born. I mean, this has been going on for a long time. The bloat has been.
$32 million to the Prague Civil Society Center, which is a very liberal group of people. Wonder how much of that money came back to the people that approved it. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $486 million to the Consortium for Elections and Political Process Strengthening, including $22 million for inclusive and participatory political process in Moldova.
Okay, so as you can see, there's a lot of waste going on, and most likely
Yeah.
corruption, because
I don't want to pay for it. I don't want my taxes going for those things. And despite what you think of Trump, I mean, let's get on the common ground here. What are we doing? I don't think that shouldn't be a left or a right issue. Like what are we doing with our money?
the politicians, they vote on that, they approve that, and then they might get kickbacks. Just saying. So essentially,
Who's getting votes for this?
President Trump and DOGE, they're trying to they're targeting those items, and they want to give a percentage to taxpayers as a DOGE dividend. Now, I want to give you my prediction. My prediction is that the DOGE dividend will not happen.
That's the honest truth. And despite, best efforts and what you might think of a lot of people, and hey, this is just a prediction. It might be wrong. But in order for that dividend to happen, you're talking about not just cuts. You're, budget cuts. You're talking about cutting off limbs. This is amputation. $1 trillion, and especially in such a short amount of time. I I don't know how you could do that to any kind of system without making it very noticeable. And again, who am I? How can I even fathom $1 trillion?
It's because this would need to be approved by Congress. And Honestly, it does not stand a chance of
Approval or
approval.
not,
Here's why.
it's getting the
So the
maintaining the
Republicans have
goal.
a slim majority in the House and Senate, and you're not going to get any votes from the Democrats. So if you say that, oh, Democrats are in favor of giving money to people, but they're not going to do it with money that's coming from cutting their climate and social initiatives to support Trump. And another thing is that the Republican fiscal hawks will not be voting in favor of this. So listen, if you disagree and say that this is not going to affect the deficits, I understand your point of view, but all I'm saying is good luck trying to sell that story to the Republican fiscal hawks and get their votes. Therefore, the Republicans will not have unity in the House and Senate to push this through, even with 50 vote.
See, I don't know. That's the one thing I'm curious about. I know there are a lot of people in politics who scream, "Oh, spend too much. We're gonna cut this." But one thing that has been impressive to see, Republicans have banded together behind Trump's word, and you know, despite what everyone says that he's got all this power, well, they're doing this by choice, of course. And I think if Trump says he wants the Republicans to do it, it's going to happen. Um, that's one thing. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of. We had a lot of Republican infighting when Trump wasn't in power, when Biden was in power. Yeah, there's a lot of issues picking the right speaker and everything because there's a vacuum. Now that Trump's back in charge, I mean, everyone's going to line up. The Republicans, at least, that's what I'm saying. It's watch how smooth and in line this happens. Check this. I mean, that's my prediction.
Reconciliation. So listen, that's my prediction. All I'm saying is just don't get your hopes up. I'm telling you this sincerely and just honestly. I really don't want people to get their hopes up. That's all I'm saying. Like, I hope that they cut government spending and waste and fraud and all that. But these $5,000 DOGE dividend or stimulus checks, I really wouldn't count on it happening because it's just not going to get the votes to pass Congress. I'll keep you updated. Please subscribe. I thank you for the support, and I wish you a very nice day. Take care.
Well, there you have it. I will give it to him. He's giving it to you straight. At least so far, that's how I see it. ClearValue Tax. Check out his video. Make sure you subscribe to him. He seems very knowledgeable. And again, the way I see it, my prediction veers a little off different here, but I think these bills and proposals they're gonna get passed. I don't see a lot of pushback right now, at least for the next 2 years until midterms, and they're moving. There's momentum here that I don't think they're going to give up. So, of course, that's what you do when you have that momentum. You got to use it. So we'll see what happens. Um, but I'm skeptical on getting cash to the people, uh, left or right. This is a machine that has definitely made some things happen, and who knows? Maybe some good can happen from this. But I I'm not gonna bet that I'm getting $5,000. It'd be nice though. I'm not gonna complain if it comes in. Whoo wee! Thank you, thank you. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am.